from the National News Studio, Sri Lanka.
A pleasant evening and a very warm welcome to the National News Broadcast. We are coming to you live from Rupavahini's News Studios. I'm Delanjali Ananda.
A very good evening indeed. I'm Charik Minupurarachi, and let's move on to the headlines for tonight's news.
Sri Lanka celebrates the 76th National Independence Day in a grand manner. The President says it is proving before the world that Sri Lanka's path at present is accurate. He invites all to journey on this path to achieve prosperity. The Thai Prime Minister, who arrived to participate in the 76th National Independence Day ceremony, leaves the island. Legal action against those who sell inferior bread. 51 persons killed in a bushfire in Chile and more than 200 missing. So for this and other stories in detail. The 76th National Independence Day was celebrated with grandeur at the Golf Face Green in Colombo today.
President Ranil Wickremesinghe has presided over the event, and the special invitee was Prime Minister of Thailand Srettha Thavisin.
Sri Lanka Police වැඩබලන පොලිස්පති දේශබන්දු තෙන්නකෝන් සහ එම මැතිනියගේ පැමිණීම ශ්‍රී ලංකා පාර්ලිමේන්තුවේ ගරු කතානායක
The arrival of Speaker Mahinda Abeyewardene and other people's representatives was preceded by the attendance of Chief of Defence Forces, Commanders-in-Chief of the three armed forces and the Acting Inspector General of Police. Prime Minister Dinesh Gunawardena was welcomed upon arrival by the Governor of the Western Province, Marshal of the Air Force Roshan Gunatilaka and State Minister Ashoka Priyantha. Thereafter, the arrival of Prime Minister of Thailand Srettha Thavisin has taken place. He was received by Minister of Foreign Affairs Ali Sabri and Prime Minister Ramesh Pathirana. Later on, President Ranil Wickremesinghe and First Lady Professor Maitri Wickremesinghe have arrived. They were welcomed by Prime Minister Dinesh Gunawardena.
යලි නගා සිටීමට පෙරමුණගත් ඒ විශිෂ්ට මිනිසාගේ සම්ප්‍රාප්තියයි දැන් සිදුවන්නේ.
Thereafter, the hoisting of the national flag was conducted by President Ranil Wickremesinghe. The national anthem was sung with the participation of 100 school children. Greetings were also extended to the Prime Minister of Thailand. The Jamangala Gantha were recited by students of Vishaka Vidyalaya, Sirimavo Bandaranak College and Devi Balika Vidyalaya of Colombo. All Sri Lankans who had laid down their lives on behalf of freedom and territorial integrity of the motherland were remembered. Thereafter, a guard of honor of the three armed forces was bestowed upon the President. A 21 artillery gunfire was conducted in honor of the president. Then a parachute display of the three armed forces has commenced.
ජාතිය අභිමානයේ විදහා දැක්වෙන නිදහස් දින උළෙලේ සිංහ ප්‍රතිමාවයි දැන් අපිට දක්නට ලැබෙන්නේ. ජාතික ධජ රැගත් කණ්ඩායම දැන් අපිට දක්නට ලැබෙනවා. ජයවීර ඒ වගේම නොබියෝ පෙරටෙන ජාති
இலங்கை லேசாயுத காலாட் படையணியாகும்.
Next is the arrival of the Gajaba regiment, which started in the
වර්ෂ 1980 දී ආරම්භ කරන ලද නොහැක්කක් නොමැත ආදර්ශ පාඨය කරගත් කමාන්ඩෝ රෙජිමේන්තුවයි. අධිෂ්ඨානයෙන් අභීතව අරමුණ කරා.
A parade to offer tributes with the participation of three armed forces, the police, the Civil Defence Task Force, the National Cadet Corps, retired officials as followed. There were 6,002 participants and 11 armed trucks in the procession.
ගාල්මුදර මුහුදු තීරයේ ගමන් කරනවා ශ්‍රී ලංකා නාවික හමුදාවේ ගජබාහු සයුර සහ සමුද්‍ර යන නෞකා නිදහස් දිනයේ සියාභිමානය ආචාර්ය එකතු කර
ශක්තියෙන් නිර්භීතව ජයග්‍රහණය කරා යන තේමාව රැගත් මවගේ දිරිය දිනියන්ගේ සුසැදි ශ්‍රී ලංකා නාවික හමුදාවේ කාන්තා නාවිකාංශය සඳහන් රියාද් පූජිත විතාන අධ්‍යක්ෂක ජනරාල් ධූරයේ දරන ශ්‍රී ලංකා වෙරළ ආරක්ෂක දෙපාර්තමේන්තුවේ
ශ්‍රී ලංකා ගුවන් හමුදාව ගුවන් හමුදා ධජය පෙරටු කර ගනිමින් 76 වන නිදහස් දින සැමරුම් පෙළපාලියට අභිමානවත් අන්දමින් එක්වන ආකාරයයි දැන් ඔබට දැක ගැනීමට ලැබෙන්නේ. ගුවන් හමුදා ආචාර්ය පෙළපාලියේ පෙළපාලිය අනුදෙන්නා ලෙස විං කමාන්ඩර් ප්‍රසාද් කුලතුංග කටයුතු කරන අතර පෙළපාලිය බල්ලත් නිලධාරී ලෙස ප්‍රධාන බල්ලත් නිලධාරී MAGS ජයරත්න කටයුතු කරනවා. ශ්‍රී ලංකීය කාන්තා අභිමානීය ලෝට විදහාපාමින් ශ්‍රී ලංකීය ගුවන් සුරකින ගුවන් හමුදා කාන්තා බලකාය ගුවන් හමුදා පෙළපාලිය සඳහා මේ එක්වන්නේ ශබ්දයේ වේගයේ පරෙමින් අහස්කුස ගුගුරුවමින් F7 හමුදා විශේෂ ගුවන් විහිදුම් බලකාය අවදානට නොබියව සූදානමින් යන තේමාවෙන් යුතුව
ඉනරතුරුව 76 වෙනි නිදහස් සමරු පෙළපාලිය සඳහා එක්වනවා ශ්‍රී ලංකා පොලිසිය
ඉනරතුරුව කාන්තා සහකාර පොලිස් අධිකාරී දීපානි මැණිකේ විසින් අරදෙන කාන්තා පොලිස් බලයනිය 76 වෙනි නිදහස් සමරු පෙළපාලියට එක්ව ගමන් කරනවා. දැන් ඔබ දකින්නේ නියතයි ජය ආදර්ශ පාට කරගත් දකුණු ආසියාවේ විශිෂ්ටතම අතුරු හමුදාව ලෙස විරුදාවලිය ලත් පොලිස් විශේෂ කාර්ය බලකාය අභිමානයෙන් යුතුව 76 වන නිදහස් සමරු පෙළපාලියට එක්වන අවස්ථාව.
76 වෙනි නිදහස් දින සමරු උත්සවය සඳහා සිවිල් ආරක්ෂක දෙපාර්තමේන්තුවේ බටහින් එක්වන ආකාරය ජාතික ශිෂ්‍ය බඩ බලකායයි දැන් 76 වෙනි නිදහස් දින සමරු මුලල සදාසිය සම්මානය කරන්නේ. තෙරණ දියඹ ගෝණ ජයගත් ත්‍රිවිධ හමුදා ප්‍රවීණයන් 76 වන නිදහස් සමරු මුලලේ සම්මාන පෙළපාලියට සියාචාර්ය පුද කරමින් එක්වන මොහොතයි දැන් ඔබ දකින්නේ. 76 වන නිදහස් සමරු පෙළපාලිය සඳහා දැන් එක්වන්නේ රණක්ෂිතයට පත් අභීත රණවිරුවන්. දක්ෂක තුනක් පුරාවට පැවති කුරුණු යුද්ධය පරාජය කරන්නට තම ජීවිත පතුර තබමින් අප ජීවිත ආරක්ෂා කරන්නට ඔවුන් කළ මහා කැපකිරීම අපට කිසිදා අමතක කළ නොහැක.
இப்பொழுது நீங்கள் காண்பது
76 වන නිදහස් සමරු රථ පෙළපාලියට දැන් එක්වන්නේ ශ්‍රී ලංකාව තුළ ප්‍රාණාපකරණ මුදා ගැනීමේ ප්‍රතිසත්ත්ව ක්‍රියාන්විත සිදු කිරීමේ පුරෝගාමින් වන කමාන්ඩෝ රෙජිමේන්තුව භාවිතා කරන මොබයිල් ඇඩ්ජස්ටබල් RAM සිස්ටම් යුනිබබල් රථයයි.
ජාතික නිදහස් දින සමරුව සඳහා රට වටවැනි රන්කටේ අභිමානය එක් කරන්නටයි මේ සූදානම.
පැරිසුට් බටින්ගේ අභිමානය කරමින් ජාතික දජය රැගෙන ගෝනේ සිටට දෙරට පියනගන්නේ ශ්‍රී ලංකා යුද හමුදාවේ කමාන්ඩෝ රෙජිමේන්තුවේ බ්‍රිගේඩියර් විජිත හෙට්ටිආරච්චි.
The National Independence Day ceremony was coloured by several cultural features as well. President Ranil Wickremesinghe calls upon all Sri Lankans to make a special determination on the day of the 76th national independence to achieve prosperity once again by treading along the present path which has been proven before the world to be an accurate path.
The message in connection with Independence Day issued by the President says when Sri Lanka was celebrating its 75th national independence, the country was stigmatized before the world as a bankrupt nation. However, by the dawn of the National Independence Day, the country was able to come out of this crisis and to elevate its economy to a stable level. The President added that Sri Lanka was able to go forward gradually as a result of majority of the citizens extending their support for a long-term program withstanding numerous difficulties. Walking further in the same path would enable it to dispel the remaining burdens. The people in the country would be eased of cost of living difficulties and the economy would be strengthened, giving a new lease of life to Mother Lanka. The expectation of the international community at the time Sri Lanka became a free state in the year 1948 had been that the country would become developed nation in the East. The President added that Sri Lankans were enriched with all factors leading towards development at that time. However, the country was inherited with a state of bankruptcy. The President has reiterated that past mistakes should not be done again and invites all Sri Lankans in and out of Sri Lanka to extend their energies in any extent they would deliver to create a gallant country again. Prime Minister Dinesh Gunawardena, his National Independence Day message says the country which is slowly reaching a correct target once again, after being confronted with an economic crisis, is celebrating its independence anniversary in his heroic state. He further says that the country is passing a difficult era towards rural rejuvenation and productive economy. He also requests all to make a determination to have a new turn on the 76th anniversary to rebuild the nation. Opposition leader Sajith Premadasa, in his Independence Day message, although Sri Lanka had the opportunity since the year 1948 to achieve political, economic and social independence, all these objectives were tarnished due to petty racial and religious differences and absence of cleanliness in the political sector. This had paved the way for division of communities and to many tragedies. The opposition leader further said the victories, setbacks and defeats in past 76 years enriches us with experiences.
World leaders and diplomats have extended best wishes to the Sri Lankan government in connection with the 76th National Independence Day. King Charles of the United Kingdom, in a Twitter message, has extended greetings to the Sri Lankan government and the people over the 76th National Independence Day commemoration. The King, in his message, further states that Sri Lanka, through its focusing on the climatic change and establishment of peace and democracy, has encouraged the UK to further strengthen its bilateral partnerships. Secretary of the States of the United States Anthony Blinken has also extended a message of congratulations on the 76th National Independence Day. In his message, he further says a vibrant partnership based on a collective vision for a free and open and secure Indo-Pacific region has been established between the two countries. US Ambassador in Sri Lanka, Julie Chung, in a Twitter message, has also extended best wishes to Sri Lanka on its National Independence Day celebrations. A message of best wishes has also been delivered by the Indian High Commissioner Santosh Jha. He points out that Sri Lanka and India are partners of civilization.
The traditional guard of gun salute bestowed upon the nation by the Sri Lankan Navy in connection with the 76th Gallant Independence Day commemoration was conducted at 12 noon today.
It has taken place in the Saira ship of the Sri Lanka Navy under the direction of Commanding Officer Captain Lakshman Amarasinghe. The event took place according to the guidance and instructions of Commander-in-Chief of the Sri Lanka Navy, Vice Admiral Priyantha Pereira. In the event of a gun salute, the maximum number of gunshots to be extended in honour is 25. The military ship have been following a ritual of bestowing honour by gun saluting since the 14th century. By scanning the history of gun salute, it has been found that the Sri Lankan Navy had accorded its first guard of honour of gunfire in the year 1948 with a 15-gun salute at the Gold Face Green. The mast of the ship engaged in extending honour is decorated with special flags using letters in the English alphabets and numbers to denote the meaning 25-gun salutes for the nation. The mast of the Saura ship of the Sri Lanka Navy was also dressed with similar fashion today. The artillery display was conducted using 4 equipment of the 47mm type.
Now, the group of representatives, including Prime Minister of Thailand, Sethara Thavisin, was engaged in a cordial discussion with President Ranil Wickremesinghe at the President's house in Fort last night. The Thai delegation, upon arrival at the President's house, was warmly welcomed by Prime Minister Dinesh Gunawardena. Thereafter, the President accompanied the dignitaries to the President's mansion for amicable discussion. The Thai Prime Minister has inspected the old paintings at the President's house and placed a note in the book of the special guests. The delegation headed by Thai Prime Minister Sethara Thavisin, which arrived in Sri Lanka to participate in the 76th National Independence Day commemoration, left the island this morning, ending a 2-day official visit.
And meanwhile, Minister Nalin Fernando says legal action will be taken from tomorrow onwards against traders who sell bread not conforming to the standards. Search operations in this regard will be conducted by the Consumer Affairs Authority and the Department of Weighing and Measurements. The minister further says the legal measures will be enforced according to the Bread Ordinance and the Government Gazette notification. Trade Minister Nalin Fernando said that the Consumer Authority, through a gazette notification, has taken necessary measures to maintain standards of bread. Accordingly, the bread sellers should display the weight of the bread being sold. He further said that even 60 to 70 years ago, there was laws pertaining to the preservation of the standards, but such rules were not implemented.
Now, Prabhakaran Kausikan, regarded as the leader of Alva gang, which was engaged in numerous criminal acts in Jaffna, was arrested while staying in the upstairs of 2-storied house in Yazapura in Mount Lavinia by the Valana Police Central Anti-Corruption Unit. The suspects, popular by the abbreviations Prabha, has been issued with 2 open warrants in the Jaffna Magistrate Court and at the Malakam Magistrate Courts. He is reported to be a culprit addicted to narcotics to the ice type. The police found in his possession a stock of ice narcotics weighing 1 gram and 300 milligrams.
Religious programs have been organized in several places in the island to extend blessings in connection with the 76th National Independence Day. Prime Minister Dinesh Gunawardena has presided over a Buddhist religious program in connection with the National Independence Day at the Polwatta Sri Dharmakirtiyarama Vihare in Kolopitiya this morning. Floral tributes has been bestowed upon the D.S. Senanayake statue located near the mango tree planted by the then Prime Minister D.S. Senanayake on the first Independence Day in 1948. The Mahasangha, headed by Adhikarana Sanghanayaka of the Sri Lanka Ramanja Mahanikaya, Venerable Latnagaya Ratnapalathera and people's representatives have also participated in the event. The Hindu religious observations on the 76th National Independence Day was conducted with an Ashirvada Puja at the old Kadireshan Kovil in Bambalapitiya. The ceremony was organized by the Department of Hindu Religious Affairs affiliated to the Ministry of Buddha Sasana, Religious and Cultural Affairs. A group of Hindu devotees, including Minister Douglas Devananda, has attended the event. The National Independence Day was commemorated with a Catholic service at the All Saints Church in Punjaborala today under the patronage of Archbishops His Eminence Reverend Malcolm Cardinal Ranjith. The 76th National Independence Day Islam religious observances were conducted at the Al-Sar Mosque in Fort Colombo with the participation of public representatives including Minister Ali Sabri. A prayer and thanksgiving service on behalf of the nation on the 76th National Independence Day was held at the Christian Reformist Church in Kollupiti today. This was organized by the National Christian Council.
Now, floral tributes were offered at the statue of Sri Lanka's first Prime Minister, Right Honourable D.S. Senanayake, better known as Father of Independence, in the Independence Square, Colombo this morning. President of the D.S. Senanayake Commemoration Committee, former Speaker Deshabandhu Karujayasuriya and Minister Sisil Premchand presided over the ceremony. The statue was garlanded by Municipal Commissioner of the Colombo Municipal Council, Badrani Jayawardena. Several other people, representatives and invitees also attended the event. Floral tributes were also paid to the statue of the national heroes in the President's office this morning. The ceremony was organized by the President's office.
754 inmates in prisons throughout the island have received presidential pardon in parallel to the 76th National Independence Day celebrations today. Special events to commemorate the Independence Day was held in many parts of the country today. 729 male detainees and 25 female detainees were pardoned by a decree of the President. Those who were freed were culprits who were unable to pay their fines for minor offences and traffic violations. Ceremony to commemorate national heroes in the past who had shouldered the struggle to liberate the country from imperialism was held at the Mathule Library premises today. Flowers were offered in remembrance of the national heroes Monravela Kappatipola, Madugalle and Purannapo in front of their statues. The Polonnaruwa District National Independence Day ceremony was held at the District Secretariat premises today under the patronage of State Minister Sripala Gamlath. The Vavuniya District Commemoration Program was held at the Vavuniya Municipal Council grounds. Floral homage was bequeathed at the D.S. Senanayake statue in Anuradhapura in parallel of the D.S. Independence ceremony. A program titled Magin Patan Gamu was conducted with the participation of a large number of youth under the leadership of Minister Manoj Nanayakara. An educational exhibition has been organized at the Andiyadeniya Primary School in Maharachchimulla in Alava in connection with Independence Day. State Minister Shantha Bandara has declared open the exhibition. Stay tuned with international news after this break.
பரிசுக்கு பரிசொன்று 76வது சுதந்திர தின கொண்டாட்டத்தின் நிமித்தம் 2024 பிப்ரவரி 1 முதல் 14 வரை பிறக்கும் அனைத்து குழந்தைகளுக்கும்
At least 51 people were killed by forest fires in Chile's Valparaiso region.
Chile President Gabriel Boric declared a state of emergency and said he would make all necessary resources available to tackle the situation. It is believed to be Chile's deadliest forest fire on record. Many of those affected were visiting the coastal regions during the summer holidays. A health alert was put in place of Valparaiso by the Health Ministry. The ministry called for the suspension of elective surgeries in authorized temporary field hospitals to be set up. Medicine students nearing the end of their studies will be hired and help ease pressures of the health service, the ministry announced in the same statement. Rescue services have struggled to reach the most badly affected areas, and Interior Ministers Carolina who said the death toll would reach much higher figures in the coming hours. The Chilean government has urged people not to travel to the areas impacted by the fires. The Housing Ministry said between 3,000 to 600 houses were impacted by the fires. Some 1,400 firefighters are being deployed on Sunday, the Interior Minister said in an address to the nation. Military personnel have been deployed alongside emergency services, and the cause of the fire is being investigated. To avoid the escalation of an already declared situation, the government has banned the handling of fire and machines that produce heat in Valparaiso and the nearby Madra Maga region.
Now, at the end of the third day's play in the maiden Test cricket fixture between Sri Lanka and Afghanistan, the Afghan team has scored 199 runs for the loss of 1 wicket in their second innings. At the commencement of the third play today at the SSC grounds in Colombo. Sri Lankan team in their first inning has scored 410 runs for the loss of 6 wickets. However, the inning was restricted to 439 runs. Angelo Mathews has scored 141 runs and Dinesh Chandimal 107 runs. The bowling figures of Afghanistan Navid Sadron with a bag of 4 wickets has been a noteworthy performance. The Afghanistan has opened its second innings with Ibrahim Sadron and Noor Ali Sadron with a firm opening partnership of 106 runs for the first wicket. Noor Ali Sadron has scored 47 runs and Ibrahim Sadron has scored his first century in the Test cricket. Now, the Colombo Royal team has been successful in securing the trophy of the softball cricket tournament organised by the Colombo District Media Personnel Association.
The tournament was played at the Angampitia grounds in Kotte yesterday. 8 teams have completed under the 2 categories in the tournament organised for the second consecutive occasion. The Colombo Royal team headed by Sunetheva Vedara has won the tournament by 13 runs. The team has beaten the Colombo Kings team captained by Susantha Ratnayaka. The Colombo Royal batting first has scored 29 runs, but the Colombo Kings in return was able to score only 16 runs.
And that's all the news we have for tonight. Join us tomorrow at the same time for the very latest on Channel Eye. I'm Delanjali, together with Charita, signing off. Good night.
Good night.